Life isn't easy. Also, welcome. Wool murder stream, oh my god. Exactly, it's a bat tato. So, we're gonna work on some wings, but do we want to use pipe cleaners as a structural thing, or do we want to just have it be soft? I have a lot of pipe cleaners that we can use. I'm actually thinking we might use one. There's a couple ways we can do it. So essentially this would be the main bone of the wing, and it would be... I would cut off the excess so it's the same size. It'd be the same size on either side, and then it'll, like, you know, provide structure to the wing instead of just having it flop around. I could either kind of like squish it into the back here and then cover it up with fluff and incorporate it, or I could cut it in the middle and then try to attach it to each side, but that would be more difficult, so I think I'm going to do it this way. So I just cut it. So now we've got this little extra piece which we can use later. And then we've got this longer piece that's going to go in here. Trying to make sure it's roughly even. It's not going to be perfect. I don't care that much, but as long as it's approximately even, that's fine. This is something that I found. It's all demo scene music, and it's copyright free, and it's streaming. So we're giving this a shot. Something to change it up a little bit, and then I don't have to worry about changing tracks all the time. That's the link to it if you want to check it out. Now we have a potato on a stick. The cool thing about these fuzzy pipe cleaners is that they grip the wool, and also you can basically like felt the wool right into this fluffy stuff. And it blends pretty well. It's the potato bone, exactly. Okay, so basically now we have shoulders and a structure for the wings. And then the head's gonna go on like that. Kinda. And then we're gonna wrap the same color that we have on the ears. We're gonna wrap this around the pipe cleaner part. So this color. Turn the music down? Okay. How's that? Yeah, it's always hard for me to judge how loud the music actually is because it's always really loud in my earbuds. I have to turn it down for myself anyway, so I'm never sure what it's like for everybody else. I need coffee. Lots of coffee. This mug basically is 5 gallons worth, to be honest. This mug is huge. So, like, you can see, what can I put here for scale? So, here's my mouse. Here's the mug. So, like, you can see that this is like a pretty standard-sized mouse. And it could basically fit inside the mug if I wanted to, and I would have room for probably 3 more computer mice in there. If I knew how long these pipe cleaners were, I don't know. I don't know how to measure it. I don't have a ruler handy. Okay, so my kid ran off to go grab my trusty 18-inch metal ruler. So now we're gonna measure it properly. Oh, this has some glue on it from something. Some wood glue, I think it is. But it's about 4 inches in diameter. And a little, almost 5.5 inches tall. It's a large cup. Like, it'll basically hold the contents of my French press on its own. My kid wants to show off some magnetic putty that they got for Christmas. So now you get to see magnetic putty. Now they're gonna go get the magnet to show you. They're very proud of this putty. So here's the magnet.
Put that aside. We're gonna flatten this out.
You're getting a how-to.
So basically, we're gonna make a bubble.
Well, how about we show how the magnet works first?
Okay, so we need to tear off a piece. Now we just put this aside. Now we're just gonna fold it and then so let me make it no more thinner.
See, it's a magnet. And the putty reacts to it. This has, like, I don't know, some kind of ferrous metal shavings incorporated into it, I think.
So now we're gonna do the bubble. This is a bubble.
This is a really big magnet.
Yeah, I know, it's heavy.
It's very large and heavy.
So we're gonna flatten this out, make a bubble. We're gonna put our thumb into it, and then you get that catch the air. Then hold on, that already paused because no. Basically, we there and then
Oh, you popped it.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool, bud. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration of magnetic putty. Now we're back to stabbing things. And my crafting mat that I got will be here probably Sunday. So then you won't have to look at my horrible beat up desk anymore. Have a nice professional surface to work on. And it's gonna be purple. Well, one side is purple, one side is black. Also, I don't know what everybody's doing tomorrow. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have a lot of expectations for streams and stuff because it is New Year's Eve, even though it's a pandemic New Year's Eve, so a lot of people are probably staying home. I might be streaming tomorrow, I'm not sure yet, because we are going over to my mother-in-law's for Chinese food. And I don't know how long we're gonna be gone. And I might be drunk. I'm not gonna lie, so we're gonna play it by ear. If I am not here for that, I guess I could do Friday. I could do a Friday stream. Yeah, but we can watch Space Cop, like, late. I'm talking about, like, streamy times. I'll be here for Space Cop. I don't really have to be, like, coherent for that. I can just put it on and put it on the Discord and then just space out. Oh, see, now we're coating this pipe cleaner with, we're gonna call it the flesh color. And then once we do that, we're going to separately use this to make the membranes of the wings. Just flat by itself here, and then we're gonna attach that afterwards. We're gonna do the same thing for the other side. It would probably be funnier, but I don't know. I might need to go have a lie down or something, if I'm being completely honest. We'll see how bad it gets. Like, I'm always like, oh, I won't drink that much because I don't like getting too drunk, and then a few hours later, you know how it goes. The big problem is going over to my in-laws. They're always like, oh, you want a drink? You want a beer? You want this? You want that? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And, you know, it's just one after the other. Getting a little worried here because I keep hitting the wire inside the pipe cleaner with the needle and it's making the needle bend a little bit, so there's the possibility you might end up seeing this needle snapping on stream tonight. It's stuck. It's stuck. Look at it. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, we got it. Yeah, the StreamAccord bot, or StreamCord, or whatever the fuck it's called, it's been very laggy lately. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll post about it manually. There, I posted. found this cool little gadget for needle felting that's like, it looks like, so it has a handle like a pen, but it has a thing at the end. It looks like a little metal rake, like a very small metal rake, and basically what you use it for is you can use it to comb out fibers, or you can use it to hold a piece in place while you stab around it so your fingers aren't there. And I think that's really cool. I'm intrigued by that. So I might pick one of those up at some point, because it seems very handy. So I'm about to jinx myself, but I have not yet stabbed myself on stream. So, we'll see what happens now that I've announced it. A little more for this one, and then we'll do the next one. So one of the things that can happen when you get wool is sometimes there's plant material in the wool that made it through the process. You get little bits of leaf or stem or something, and you just gotta pick them out. They're like little bonuses, little presents. Oh, there's another one. You can see that little dark speck. That is some nondescript chunk of plant matter. And there's some more. A little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, and some more. Generally, like the cheaper the wool, the more likely you are to find this stuff. It's not a big deal. I mean, the wool has been washed and everything. It's not like it's dirty stuff, but, you know, sometimes it's annoying to have to pick out pieces of leaves and stems from your wool. Hello, Richie! So I think this is actually a little bit bent. Looks just ever so slightly bent. Oh well. Oh, there we go. There we go. I did it. We snapped a needle. Oh, thank you for the gift subscription to Stabby Stabby, right as we snapped the tip off of this needle. It's okay, I have more. This happens a lot. These things wear out, they bend, they snap, they get dull. But yeah, so we had that milestone on stream. I want to make sure that I don't lose this piece. I don't want it to end up in my carpet and end up in my foot. So, since I don't have a proper sharps container set up, I'm going to use this old generic cetirizine bottle, my allergy medication. Generic Zyrtec, if you're wondering. And I'm going to put it in there, so it can't hurt anybody. So it's in there now. So we're gonna put that away. This guy is not as dangerous because it's thicker and duller. No, you can't, it doesn't autofocus, I forgot. But yeah, so this one's not as dangerous. So I'm gonna set this aside for now, and we're gonna change to a new needle. See, I got a bunch of pointy boys in here. There we go. Good as new. That's actually the first needle that I've gone through so far since getting this whole set, this whole kit. That needle went all the way through my Gomi figurine that I've been working on and still need to finish, but all the work that I did on that was with that one needle. I haven't had to switch them out yet, so that's this is a pretty good lifespan for one of these. Some people go through several of these in a single project, so. I should make a needle counter too. We'll have a an injury counter for when I stab myself inevitably, and a counter for how many needles I snap while I work on stuff. A chips counter for System Shock would be great because you come across a lot of bags of chips. Hello, Katie. Welcome. You get to watch me stab some sheep's hair and make sculptures out of it. Okay, so that is essentially one arm done until we make the wing membranes. So see how it's thicker now? But it still has flex to it. You can still bend it and pose it. So that's what we want. We want to create like a wing shape out of it. Kind of like that, an approximate wing shape, and then we're gonna have felt like this. Wingies! Just the entirely wrong kind of wingies. Eventually, if I get enough emote slots, I will make a matching set of bat wings. But I have to get to that point. If I ever get to that point. We'll see. Yeah, I haven't actually, like, I like magical girl stuff. I loved Sailor Moon growing up. It was probably one of the most influential animes on me. But I never really watched Madoka, because from what I understood, it was more about just tormenting these poor girls than, you know, them, you know, growing into their own and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, maybe someday. Also, there was a weird amount of, like, clown monsters, and I don't like clowns. This sounds like something from Initial D, this song. Is it Initial D? It sounds a lot like it. It might be, yeah. It sounds eerily like Initial D to me. Like the beat and everything, the lyrics. I can't think of a whole lot of songs that sound like this that say Wings of Fire at all, so, you know, that kind of limits the possibilities. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm essentially wrapping this around the pipe cleaner, which is making the fibers get, like, gripped by the pipe cleanery stuff. The brush, I guess you'd call it. The filaments. These aren't, like, super firm. They're very soft, so they don't have a lot of gripping power, but it's just enough to make it easy to wrap around it and hold it in place while I essentially, I felt it around the thing, so it kind of locks in place around it. That's why I'm doing the very edges, so that it locks it in by creating like a seal, and then I'll wrap it around again and interlock it with it on the other side, and back and forth and back and forth. It's kind of like a layer thing. Because I also want it to be opaque enough that it covers the white, but not so much that it adds a lot of bulk. What is that? What is that? Is that plant matter? No, it's not plant fiber, it's some other piece of wool that's darker. Just a little tiny piece of lint. Something could go horrifically wrong, and I should have a backup bat, right? So let's get started on that. Back to square one. Then the whole stream making a backup bat, and then the next stream making another backup bat, just in case the first backup bat fails, and then this one fails, so that we have just a never-ending cycle of backups, and we never finish anything. I think that would be the ideal way to go about it. One good thing about wool is it's actually not super flammable. They actually use wool for fire protective suits as a lining because it doesn't tend to burn super well. Little factoid. Also, in the olden days before synthetics, they used to use wool blankets as a way to put out fires, like heavy wool blankets. Another factoid about wool is one of the ways that wool used to get washed in a way that would not cause it to unintentionally mat and felt and shrink was to use urine. They would wash wool in piss. The more you know. Hell yeah, piss crew, you gotta keep your wool in the ideal zone. Now our little potato bat has, kind of wings. Kind of. Yeah, see, I know about the washing wool and urine thing. I don't know what the technique used to make the smell of basically, you know, saturating something in urine to wash it was. I don't know what they did to get rid of the smell. Because you can't use water to rinse it. That's the whole reason you're using urine. So I don't know what they used to do. Maybe drying it in the sun would get rid of it, but I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't looked that far into it. I mean, you're probably not wrong, Gao. And Richie's probably not wrong either. I don't know. I don't know the particulars. I would imagine they would try to get the least stinky pee. But at the same time, the more dilute, the more like water it would be, right? So the more likely it would cause things to, like, wet felt. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We could call it a piss mystery, a pistery, if you will. You like that one? I like that one. That was a good one. Good job, me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back now. I mean, I'm gonna have some coffee. Cheers. Oh, so they used to use it to wash other textiles too? And it had to be stale? Probably so that a lot of the water content would evaporate off of it to make it more concentrated, right? Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my god, that's nasty. That's so gross. Fucking Romans. Well, I mean, at the same time, if you think about it, making leather, like tanneries, apparently, like, traditional tannery just smelled like death and disgusting. So, I guess it would make sense that there would be other stinky things used to process materials. Okay, but that wouldn't work for wool that you're turning into, like, roving to spin, because if you felt this, you can't spin this into wool. Once it's felted, it's felted. You can't turn it into yarn. so you wouldn't be able to knit with it. But they would use urine to wash wool for roving. Not the Romans. I don't know who exactly would do it. Some European people, I don't know who. Oh, okay. Okay. So they did have a wash that they would rinse it with. I guess they would just avoid any kind of agitation during the rinsing process. As, like, if you're hand washing, like, woolens, like a wool sweater that you cannot put in the washing machine, that's why. Because the washing machine, even if you put it on a delicate cycle in cold water, the mechanical agitation of the wool will make it do this. It'll turn it into felt. But if you hand wash it in cold water with minimal agitation, you can avoid that. So that's probably what they did. But that's still gross. It's still nasty. Fortunately these days we have stuff to wash wool with that doesn't contain any urine. Like, you can use Woolite, you can use Soak, which is a brand that's just for wool washes, and there's a few other ones too. I've actually used, I've used Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, the liquid stuff, to wash wool sweaters before. Basically, you kind of mix it into the water that you're using to wash, and then you essentially just soak the item in that water so it saturates it completely, and then you just gently kind of like press it so that it absorbs the water, and then let it sit, and then when you take it out, you very carefully roll it in a towel to release the excess water. You don't, like, rub it or wring it out or anything like that. You have to be very, very deliberate about how you treat it when it's wet. I love Dr. Bronner's. Not only is it a really good soap, but it's also excellent reading material. Like, if you go to the bathroom and you forget your phone and you need something to look at while you're sitting there, you can just grab a bottle of Dr. Bronner's and you've got at least 30 minutes worth of reading material right there. Yeah, Claire John, that's one way to think about it, if you want to think about it that way. Maybe the piss wool wearers were subscribing to Dr. Bronner's all-one philosophy already before he even came up with it. And the all-one that they're talking about is the piss that they use not only to eliminate the metabolic waste from their bodies, but also to clean their clothes. Clean on the inside, clean on the outside, right? That's true about the Romans. They were pretty grotesque on all levels. That is that plant that they used to use the seed pods as a contraceptive. I don't remember what it's called, though. But it's also extinct now because it was so popular as a birth control method that they basically used it up and it couldn't propagate itself fast enough. But I mean, who among us would not take advantage of that natural birth control? It was apparently super effective, if it was available to us at the time, you know? As we know in these modern civilized times, being able to control your reproductive abilities and choose when and if you want to have children is extremely important to people. It would be cool if they could figure out how to reverse engineer it or clone it or whatever. Because I don't remember what is it related to? It's related to some really common plant that does not have that property to it. I don't remember what it was. But if they could somehow figure out a way to to clone it and bring it back. Imagine if people had access to a natural and renewable birth control. Imagine how that would change so many people's lives throughout the world. I don't remember what the mechanism of action was. I do know that it was highly effective with few side effects, and that's what made it extremely popular. So conceivably, it worked better than modern birth control pills, which have a lot of unwanted side effects. Me personally, I use birth control to not have babies. If it stops a period, that's cool, I guess. But I just care to not have any more children. I have one. That's all I need. I'm not interested in having any more. But I have an IUD, so I don't have to worry about taking pills. Some people don't want their cycles to stop completely, though. I know a lot of people do like that, but some people actually get anxious about it, because then they wonder, is it actually working or am I pregnant? That is an actual concern that some people have when they're using hormonal birth control methods. Also, for some people, not having a period can actually make them a little bit dysphoric. Because if they are identifying in such a way that that's important to them, if they don't have that cycle going to basically affirm them, it can be a negative. But they also just don't want to have babies at the same time. I also know that some hormonal birth control methods can also put you at risk for blood clots. Yeah, like, a lot of people don't like periods, and periods can just be a hassle, or an actual, like, seriously life-affecting problem. But some people don't mind them. Some people wish they had them, you know? It's weird. Bodies are weird. Reproduction and reproductive systems are weird. I just think it would be nice if we could have access to that natural ability to take control of our reproductive abilities without having to rely on pharmaceuticals or devices or whatever. Like, imagine if you could have like a garden where you grow that stuff yourself, and you never have to worry about a prescription. You never have to worry about paying for over-the-counter birth control. You never have to worry about what kind is best for you because you might react poorly to something. You know? That would be great. That would be wonderful. You could have like community gardens where there's just those plants there for anybody to use if they need them. So I totally understand why the Romans and Greeks and Egyptians used that stuff until it was gone, because I would do the same thing. Although I would probably try my best to do it in a more renewable way so that, you know, you don't use it out of existence. Wasn't there some good progress being made on basically a male birth control pill, but then the people doing the trial like complained about the side effects too much and they kind of canceled it? Or was I hearing wrong? I thought I remember something about that a few years ago. Oh, jeez. Like, what do they think, like, you know, uterus havers have to go through? Like, the pill and the shot and the patch, like, they're no fun. Those things aren't fun. And then, not to get too TMI, but if you ever are a person that is in the market for something like an IUD, they're not fun either. Like, you don't have to deal with as constant side effects with them, like, it's mostly just when you get them put in or replaced. But it hurts. That shit hurts. I got mine replaced earlier this year, and that shit hurt. Like, okay, so I've been through childbirth. I have given birth. That hurts. Getting an IUD replaced, the first time I got it, it didn't hurt that much. Getting it replaced hurt a lot more, and it was similar to the pain of contractions. It hurt. It was not fun. It was an unpleasant day. But, as uncomfortable as it was, and as much pain as I was in for that, like, day and a half after I got it replaced, it's much preferable to pregnancy and childbirth again, and having to raise another child that I am not equipped to raise. I already have one. So, all in all, it's worth it. Okay, we officially have what you could call arms, or the wing bones that go in the potato. So the head is going to go there, and there's going to be more floof. I'm going to add floof to the top of the body too, and then we're going to have wingies. And then later on, probably the last thing we're going to do is add some feet, but we're gonna try to make them anatomically correct feet for bats. They're gonna be facing backwards, like a real bat. The wool on this side seems to be a little poofier, so I'm trying to get it to shrink down a little more against the pipe cleaner. Otherwise it's gonna look weirdly chunky and fat. This side's a little chunky and fat too, so that's okay. Yes, bat feet face backwards because they use them to hang from things. Yeah, they're weird. They're weird feet. And they're hard to draw. So that's one of the reasons for my bat Sona. The feet don't face backwards. I have them facing forwards, more like a typical mammal, just because I'm lazy. And I don't want to have to explain, like, how can your bat stand up when its feet face backwards? I don't fucking know. It's a purple cartoon bat. Yes, my bat's feet are backwards for a bat, which I'm fine with. They're also very simplistic little nubbins, as you can see from the plushie. Yeah, I have a custom plushie. I did not make this. I commissioned it from Anubis Studios, who's a great creator if you want to have custom-made, handmade plushies. I recommend them. They're very nice to work with. Yeah, so I have little plushie feets, little nubbins, stubs, and a little tail. Yeah, a couple years ago I treated myself to some things that I normally would not splurge on, and I don't regret it. It was worth it. So Richie, what did you find when you were scrolling down in the results for bat feet? Like, how bad are we talking? You piqued my interest. So see, this is kind of like crudely how bat wings would go, approximately. See, kind of like that. And then we're gonna have the membranes going across, and then I might make like a little thumb for the corner here. Oh! Oh, yeah. I forgot that there's a bat character, and she's certainly designed for a certain type of gaze. I forgot about her. A chunk of plant stuff in it again. This is one of the times when I would like to have one of those. So they have holders like this that are made of wood. But they have bigger ones where you can put up to 8 needles in it at a time, so you can do like a whole big area without having to, you know, stab all over the place a bunch of times. And I'm gonna get one of those someday, but I have to make do for now because this is all I have. You did it, Richie! You got your pink name! Okay, you ready for some satisfying, healing? Oh, my partner got Code Vein because it was on sale. Like the deluxe edition or something. It was on sale for like 20 something bucks. That game is extremely anime. I mean, I knew that already, kind of, but I didn't realize like just how anime it is. Right off the bat, Richie. Right off the bat. This sounds like Perturbator, but it's not. This is like chiptune stuff. Stuff like that. Right now, all I'm trying to do is kind of make this into a foundation, and I'm gonna layer more of this on to actually create the membrane. But I just want this as like a foundation for it. Yeah, I don't know what this song is. This is literally just like a radio feed of this music, so I don't know. I can't curate it.
Snake, dealing in weed, coke, crack, your choice. Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama, lie, cheat on your homeboys. Hey, that's the price you pay when you deal with dudes like me. Now, some folks...
Diane Hills, thank you for the host. Appreciate that.
I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you.
It's coffee time again. Yeah, I don't even need you to remind me to hydrate. Or, well, I guess this is hydration too, it's mostly water, but caffeinate. It's time to peel. You ready? Let's do it. Let's peel it. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. So see, now it's starting to hold together on its own. It's not, you know, just a wispy collection of fibers. It's starting to turn into its own kind of little thin mat. And that's what I'm going for, because in this, I'm going to build on it with layers. I want it to be as thin as possible. I was fascinated with it for a long time, but I was afraid of it, because the idea of stabbing things with a sharp needle that has little barbs taken out of it seemed a little bit intimidating and dangerous. Also, the notches in this one are not super defined, and I wonder if that's affecting its felting ability. Oh well, they're cheap. But once I started working with fiber in the form of yarn for knitting and crochet, then I was like, huh, well, now that I know the qualities of the material a bit better, maybe I'll give it a shot, because I like to make three-dimensional things as much as I like to draw. But I don't like working with clay because it's messy, and I don't have access to a kiln. So I got myself a cheapo little kit off Amazon, and I tried it, and I really like it. And it's very portable. You don't need a lot of space to work on stuff like this. This thing is, hang on, I have a ruler. It's about 6 inches across, this little pad that I have. So it's not big at all, and you can do this on a tiny table. If you're brave, you can do it on your lap, but I don't recommend that. I've done it before, but you know. it makes you worried. What if you stab somewhere that you're not supposed to stab, you know? And, you know, you can make cute little things. And the materials aren't really that expensive. You can get cheap roving of all different colors for, you know, you can get a decent sampler pack of it for less than $20. There's another thing I do with fiber. I do latch hook rugs, which is you get basically this mesh that has very wide gaps in it, and you get pre-cut, or you can cut them yourself. You get pre-cut lengths of yarn of different colors, and then you get a tool that looks kind of like this, except it's like a metal hook, but then it has like a little weird latchy part to it that moves. Essentially what you do, you use that hook to grab the length of yarn in like a loop, you punch it through the gap in the mesh, and then you use that latch to essentially tie the yarn to the mesh and secure it that way. And you can make rugs that way, essentially. I don't make them to use on the ground, I make them as a decorative thing, and I use patterns for that. I've never been brave enough to try to do something of my own. That's another thing I do, but it's very time consuming. It's almost like working with like pixel art, because each little bit of yarn you put on there is essentially a pixel, and you're making a big image. And usually there's a lot of colors, so you have to really make sure that you follow the pattern in order to get it to look right. Loom beading is cool. My dad used to do that. I don't have his loom. I do have some of his supplies that I inherited after he passed away, but I don't have all of them. And I don't have anybody to teach me the process. But I've always been fascinated by that too, because I used to watch my dad do it as a kid. Yeah, I really like the beadwork that I've seen other people do. I would like to try it someday, but I have so many supplies for different things. I really don't need to accumulate more, honestly. I really need to use what I have. I have a whole bunch of yarn that I haven't used yet. I have a whole bunch of roving that I haven't used. I have a whole bunch of like markers and stuff that I haven't used, and I really need to stop buying more. I mean, I won't. I'll still buy more, but I try to limit the amount that I buy. Okay, so right off the bat we can see that this is too long. It extends further than the bone. We're gonna call this the bone. And it's thinner in parts, so we're gonna have to start shaping this to fit on here. So one way to do that is we're gonna fold in the edges, start creating more of a shape. Exactly, the wing bone is connected to the potato. Here. The potato. Potato bat. So already, that's beginning to fit a little better into this area. We still need to make it a little smaller down here, or, now I'm wondering, once we add the leg meat to the potato for the feet, we could just attach it to the leg, so I might leave this a little longer than the body right here for that. I have seen kits for this that come with everything you need with little dogs, and I want to say I've seen a Chihuahua or something like a Chihuahua. I've seen a variety of cats and dogs and bears and I think turtles, and they're pretty cheap. They're pretty cheap. I hate to suggest Amazon, but that is an easy way to get them. And honestly, the finished products... Oh, VTuber avatars. Yeah, that's something different entirely. You can't buy those on Amazon. Imagine if you could, though. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any 3D models of those. I have seen cute dog live 2D models, but I don't think I've seen any Chihuahuas, like, pre-made. Speaking of which, I haven't really seen any Chihuahua VR chat avatars either. I've seen like a couple and they were mostly like meme ones, but I haven't seen like any like serious ones. Like just making a cute Chihuahua. Hello, Polar Plays 95, welcome. We're stabbing wool in order to create shapes and potatoes with wings, which will become a bat. Yeah, the toonier the better, at least if you're doing it in the live 2D style. I don't know about 3D, because I don't do that yet. I may never do that, I don't know. The problem is figuring out live 2D is a task. I hope that next year is better than this one, at least. I mean, we won't know until we get there. I don't think anybody realized that this year was going to be what it was. But I'm hoping that, if not better, then at least not as bad. You know? I'll take just not being quite so much of whatever this year was. Ah yes, those are the current YCHs that are available right now. The naughty and nice one, I don't know if anybody's really going to want that one because Christmas is technically over, but it's still available if you are interested. This year was certainly a year, that's for sure. See, now we're getting very flat, but also solid piece of fabric, essentially. Making fabric out of hair. So then, we can start to connect it to things. Is this upside down? This might be upside down. How did I want to do it? Can't remember. Like this? Yeah, like that, I think. Yeah. I should probably just keep the body here so that I remember which side is up. Because I totally forgot. That was a difficult pull. It didn't want to peel off.
Right now, a massive human race are gathered in their giant ship. Gamers, cosplayers, streamers, all kind of people.
Did it just say cosplayers and streamers?
Tourists. Normal people were killing it insanity. We will kill it compassion.
Now I'm gonna try to shape the bottom of the wing into the classic bat wing. I'm gonna try to do points. Why did the music stop? Hmm. Oh, network error. Okay. Hmm. Alright. Hmm. Maybe it got taken down. Oh no. Alright, well, so much for that, I guess. Yeah, what if it's getting slammed? Like a copyright thing. That would suck. That would be so bad. Yeah, so I think something is wrong on their end because I tried reloading the site that it's on and it's just not doing anything. So we will switch gears. There is a new Connellcast episode out, so we can do that instead. Okay, here we go.
Connell Cast by Connell Rad.
Hello. It's hard to think of an end-of-year message that sums up a year that has somehow been wilder than the previous one. And who knows how bonkers 2021 will be. So let's just focus on the one certain thing. Once again, you made it. You beat 2020.
We did
Who
it.
can beat
We survived, everybody.
2021?
Survived.
Oh, also, the third episode of the Connell Rad Drone series, Drone Alone, is out today on Patreon. See the show notes for how to access. Meanwhile, for the last time in 2020, let's go.
I mean, honestly, really, the best any of us could have hoped for this year was just to survive. That is conquering the year, you know? 'Cause I don't think any of us really came out of it better than we were going into it. But just the fact that we managed to get through it at all is a victory. So I just want to say that I am proud of every single one of you for surviving this year, despite everything that it threw at us. Try to thwart that effort. You all did it. You're all amazing for doing it. So it's very crude and rough, but we are starting to get the hint of a bat wing going here. Just a hint. It will get better as we refine it. Excuse the bloops. I was boosting my post on Mastodon and I forgot to mute the tab. Well, seeing as this might be my last stream of 2020, if I don't end up streaming tomorrow, which again, up in the air, I'm sorry that the last 2 weeks have been not as predictable as far as my schedule goes, but that's the holidays for you. If I don't end up streaming tomorrow, then I deeply appreciate every single one of you that has come out and hung out with me and followed and subscribed and hosted and rated and all those other things. I didn't expect to get this far with streaming this year, to be honest. I didn't start the year expecting to stream at all. So, the fact that there are people that like to hang out with me while I do various things and talk to me and, you know, support in various ways and all that other stuff, I can't adequately articulate how grateful I am for that. Like, I don't have the right words to express how much it means to me. Thank you doesn't cover it, really. It's not enough. If that makes any sense. Richie, you should absolutely share Furby pictures on Mastodon. The one cool thing as I'm working on this edge is you can actually see it shrinking inwards where I'm felting things. You can see it kind of pulling inwards and making more of an arc, because the fibers are getting pulled towards where I'm felting it. See? That's really cool, Richie. I like the double meaning of the name there. Also, yes, ACAB. Big same.
Chronocast by Chronorad.
Oh, see, that's getting a little better as far as like a smooth curve. And then I'm probably gonna have to add some more wool here, but we're gonna make it pointy. And then we're gonna do the next one. Same thing. Since this is not gonna be a totally accurate bat, we might only get like one good pointy here and then the other one that's gonna come out this way. Instead of the actual full amount of phalanges in a bat wing. But that's okay. Because, I mean, there's a bit more to a bat's head than this too, but this is all we're gonna get. Furby Sanders is amazing. Furby Sanders would have won. Honestly, considering all of the candidates we've had, a Furby would not necessarily be the worst one. I'd vote for a Furby. I just poked my finger. I felt it, but I don't think I'm bleeding, so that's okay. It doesn't count. Nah, I don't see any blood.
Now, let's go.
Do people mod Furbies? Like, modify them? Is that a thing that people do? I'm not really familiar with the Furby community at all. Oh yeah, I've seen the long Furbies. I wasn't sure if people just did like regular modifications to Furbies that wasn't like, you know, making them even more of a monstrosity than the original thing was. Furbies always kind of creeped me out a little bit, like when I was a kid. It was kind of a cool technology, but I think that's why it creeped me out. Plus, you know, all the little snot-nosed brats that I went to school with like to tell like these horror stories about, oh, you know, possessed Furbies, they're saying stuff that the manufacturers say they're not supposed to be able to say and activating themselves when nobody's around and stuff like that. And it's like, no, I don't think so, I'm good. I know it's all bullshit now, but as an impressionable middle schooler, I think I was like, ew, that sounds really not great. Doing a paranormal expose on a furry, not a, well, I mean furries too, but on a Furby sounds pretty cool actually. What about furry ghosts? Like if a furry dies, do you think their ghost would manifest as their persona? Because you know how like some ghosts like they'll be in certain outfits, like a wedding dress or something. What if a furry's ghost would be in their fursuit?
Connell cast. Never generative, never procedural, always human. Except for this voice.
Oh yeah, that's not fun. Oh, I'm glad you recovered from that. Gradually, we're getting there. So this part's gonna connect to the leg. That's why it's like that, because the legs are gonna kind of go diagonal from the body a little bit, not straight down. And this is gonna connect to the leg, and then this we're gonna start arcing it back upwards like this, and then connect it to the bone. Baked beans Furby? I have not seen that. Please post it in the cursed posting channel of the Discord for me if you can. I would like to see that, as horrifying as it sounds. Thank you, Gal. Slenderman is an interesting one, because it seemed like a lot of younger people that were exposed to that when it came out, or at least when it gained more mainstream popularity, because that was like the age of creepypasta really kind of coming into its own. Like they had like the Jeff the Killer stuff, and SCP really started taking off back then.
Oh yeah.
And The thing for me is I was actually lurking in the thread on something awful where Slender Man was invented. Interestingly enough. So I kind of watched him form. It was a thread where you were supposed to take photos and turn them into like paranormal images. Like photoshopping apparitions and stuff into just mundane photographs. Slenderman's particularly creepy as far as those kinds of things go. You know, I'm realizing that if I wanted to be lazy with this, I could have just found a piece of roughly skin tone, flesh color, whatever you want to call it, felt, because I have squares of actual, like, felt material. And I could have just found one and just cut it into shape and just attached it that way. But where's the fun in that, you know? Spiderwick Chronicles. That sounds. Wasn't that something on? What channel was that on? That was like a series, wasn't it? Or was that a movie? I can't remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounded familiar to me, but I couldn't place it. I mean, honestly, like, some stuff, it just sticks in your head. Like, you can tell yourself it's not real. Other people can tell you that it's not real, but sometimes it just, like, sits there. It's like, what if they're wrong? You know? What if it is real? It can be really hard to, like, shake that from the back of your mind. Why are brains like that? Why do brains do the things they do? I don't understand it. Oh yeah, I used to hear like footsteps and like floorboards creaking and stuff in my house all the time growing up. There's a bit of a family tragedy that occurred in that house. I'm not going to go into on stream with the little grizzly, but that kind of colored my interpretation of what all the weird sounds that I would hear in the middle of the night were coming from. So I can understand, you know. Oh, just the sound of doors doing door things and nobody else heard it? That's a little unnerving. Because, like, you know, they're like, oh, you know, it's just your brain playing tricks on you, but it's like, at the same time, like, if you can't trust your brain, you know? Because that's how you process input from the world, you know? Oh, I've heard of Paxil. I remember there used to be commercials for that on TV a long time ago. I'm glad that it's helping, though.
This is Connell Cast by Connell Rad. Don't give up.
There we go. I'm getting somewhere. That's turning into a wing. I'm glad you're doing better, Richie, because I am an anxiety haver myself, and anxiety attacks are no fun. Lamictal. That sounds familiar to me. I think I knew somebody that used to take that. I don't remember what for, though. This is gonna be the point of the wing at the very end. I'm gonna go like that. Oh, that might be it. Actually, my ex, a long time ago, who's an idiot, by the way, was epileptic, so I think that's probably who I knew that was taking that medicine. That also might be why I forgot who it was, because I try not to think about my ex too often. Okay, so this is a little thin in parts. Like you can see some of the green from the pad underneath, so I need to reinforce this a little bit. Emotional seizure. That's a good way to put it. I never really thought about it that way before. Oh no, it's fine. I mean, this stream is marked as mature for a reason, and talking about mental health is fine. I mean, it helps to talk about it, you know? If you keep it all to yourself, it just makes it worse. Also, I used to be a bartender, so I am very much used to listening to people talk because they just need to get stuff off their chest. Not a big deal to me. The wing is turning out very nicely for what it is. It's hard to believe that this is just a bunch of hair, technically. It's hair. It's tangled up hair. So yeah, that's shaping up, literally, into a pretty decent wing. No, it probably wouldn't. It would very much look like I just cut a piece of felt and attached it to this. The textures would be off and everything. And Tobias is here. He's meowing. Wool! We are working with wool tonight.
Thanks to everyone for listening to Connell Cast this year. It is great to have you out there. Remember, you can support Connell Cast by joining the Patreon, where you'll also get a load of extra stuff that isn't publicly available. Meanwhile, please have a safe and healthy 2021. All things willing, Connell Cast will be with you, either way.
It is a natural insulator. It's very good at it. Nothing really quite beats it, in my opinion, except sometimes it's itchy.
New. From Connell Rad. Drone Alone.
Oh no, she became walking snow piles.
A series of long-form drone tracks. With an emphasis on atmosphere, texture, and space. If you like deep, haunting soundscapes, uninterrupted by drums or earworm melodies, Drone Alone could be for you.
Texture music. Musical textures.
Each track is album length, and a new one is released monthly, on the last Monday of the month. Drone Alone is available exclusively on Patreon for supporters of Connell Rad. Existing supporters get access immediately, at no extra cost. New supporters can join now at patreon.com/ConnellRad.
Yeah, I imagine all that wool on their backs, they don't really mind
Meanwhile,
too much.
Connell
They're
Cast
probably
will
not
be
feeling much of it.
unaffected and continue to release every other week. Check out Drone Alone today at patreon.com/ConnellRad.
Well, unfortunately, that Connell cast is over, and there are no new ones. That was the newest one. That's actually fine, though. So, I am getting hungry, so I'm probably gonna call it just about here. Now we have a choice. We can go see my friend Kelev, who is playing Omori. Or we can go find someone else who's working with wool and kind of keep the theme going. So if you have a preference, let me know. If you don't have a preference, then I guess I'll just do an imaginary coin toss. But there are a variety of people who are currently working with fibers right now. There's actually somebody who's doing weaving on a loom, if anybody's interested in that. It looks pretty cool. That is one fiber art I have not done yet, and I'm fascinated by, but it seems like there's kind of a high cost of entry into that. Okay, let's go do the loom then. So we are gonna raid someone that I haven't raided before, and I don't follow, but that I'm gonna change that, named Woolly Dev Dev. And as I mentioned before, I appreciate every single one of you. I am deeply, deeply, deeply thankful that you are willing to come spend your time with me and hang out while I work on stuff and chat about whatever. I hope that this next year is better for all of us, and I hope that you will continue to come hang out with me and, you know, chat and do whatever we want to do on the stream. And if I'm not back tomorrow, then I will see you in the new year on Saturday, as usual, to play Final Fantasy Tactics. And I hope everybody has a safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If you're gonna celebrate, please, take precautions. Don't overdo it. Don't make yourself sick with anything, alcohol, coronavirus, whatever. Do what you need to do to keep yourself safe and healthy. Wash your hands, wear your mask. Don't have big gatherings. Know your limits. drink water, all that good stuff. So let's go see Woolly Dev Dev and watch some weaving, which is amazing. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Well, yeah, you should wash your mask too. And always wear your hands because you need them. Alrighty, here we go.